I mean, in terms of like the WSL broadcast to me is like the best.
Yeah.
Like that is one item there, and I've worked there, obviously,
Yeah.
but the team itself, like Jed, Rob, those guys, they are so spot on. They are so
Yeah.
good.
And I think seeing it from the inside, you really get an appreciation for how hard that is.
Yes, it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's
And
so hard.
the fan,
And with
you know,
your guys' job too is another thing. That's so hard.
Oh yeah, it's hard. It's fun. It's just a really cool challenge. And I think the fans appreciate it when they appreciate it. I think
Yeah.
they would appreciate it more if they saw, Big J laying 5 miles of cable to get to
Yes.
the reef, all the things that go into when you're at home, you're sitting in your toilet trying to watch the broadcast and you're like,
Why
it
is this
glitched.
shit? Yeah. And we in the middle of Tahiti.
Yeah.
Where one time, I think we were there, we were like had to rebuild the satellite
Yeah.
because it broke during
Something
the rain.
blew up and, there's a lightning strike on a camera or whatever. And somebody at home's like, oh, well, this didn't work for 5 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm mad.
fuck, WSL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, I think that there's way more appreciation for the broadcast and for, being able to watch live surfing, whether it's WSL, ISA, a longboard event down in Mexico,
Yes.
like it's cool to see all the levels of, of broadcast of the art of surfing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that something that WSL has been doing really, really well is the broadcast.
100%.
The broadcast is so you guys to the behind the scenes to camera angles to having you or Strata or Kaipo in the water or like all that stuff is.
Well, you would think that for me specifically, I mean, there's only about 20 something people that do what I do, that do what we do as announcers, whatever. I'll go to an event and work 9, 10, 12 hours a day talking the whole time for 10 days straight or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later I'm home and there's an event on and I'm watching.
Right. That's crazy.
I don't need a break from it. I love it. I like it that much.
Yeah. I love watching. I haven't been watching lately just because.
Bro, this year's going off.
This year's going off.
Yes.
The Gold Coast one was cool.
Oh my gosh.
Just seeing Gold Coast back on.
Yeah. That's one of the best events I've seen. I think back-to-back events, Bell's had its charm and some of the best surfing I've seen of the year. And then you go to the Gold Coast and it just makes you feel like surfing is in a great place.
Yeah,
beyond tariffs and all that stuff, all the negative stuff around, you watch that and all those people on the beach, there's concerts afterward. It's like, wow, this is another heyday of surfing.
Yeah. Having Gold Coast back to me felt
totally worked.
Whoa.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
And I'm excited how the schedule is going to be next year too. So that's
cool. Well, surfers, we talk about this a lot on our podcast, the Monday Mass.
Monday Mass. Plug. Yes. The Monday Mass podcast.
Just how I think historically surfers have always been pretty stubborn and sentimental.
Yes.
We love it. We like the way things were.
Right.
And I think that for me personally, I liked the kind of the test, the idea of the cut and all those things, and I've enjoyed the whole thing. I really like the Final 5 day, but I think now that we have things kind of back to where everyone's comfortable,
right.
It's never easy to say in surfing that everyone's stoked.
No, that's never going to happen.
Everyone's comfortable, but it feels like when that announcement came out,
people were stoked.
Everyone's stoked.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, that was one thing for me to adapt because when I went into the WSL, started working there, it's just how sensitive people are.
Yeah.
And how careful people are with the sensitiveness.
Yeah.
I think like WSL sometimes is too careful on like hurting people's feeling, like surfers' feeling, but surfers' feelings are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Because they are so...
Any athlete.
Yeah.
They put everything into this one thing.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go their way...
Because I came from the UFC. Dana never cared.
Yeah.
He was like, it's this way.
different
and
animal,
it's happening,
right?
And it's like, so coming to WSL is like, even being careful of like what people with like, I'm not even talking about surfers or professional surfers. I'm talking about like, the amateur surfers that watch, they're like, oh, they might not like this. I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool that you think that way, but it's also hard for business because you also have to deal with everything that we know is hard to promote surfing.
For sure.
Like how do you,
I'm just stoked to be a part of it. And, it's funny because I you know, I come on for the event and then I'm just here in my office afterwards
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
the
watching the
best.
events just like everyone else. And then I see the press release and I'm like, I just get excited like everyone else. And then
Yeah.
people ask me because I'm one of the commentators, oh, dude, like when did you hear about this? When did you know? Or, you know,
was like
what's
the
going
same
on
time
behind
as
the
you.
scenes? I'm like, bro, like I'm an expert in what I do.
Yeah.
Like, thankfully, I'm not in a boardroom like making big decisions like
That's the
that
best.
because that is a thankless job for
Yeah.
sure. You know, like
Yeah.
there are a lot of thankless jobs in surfing and other sports, like, you know, being a judge,
Right.
you know, doing the behind the scenes stuff. You know, you never see a surfer win a contest and say, "Hey, I want to thank the, you know, WSL accountants
Right.
for making sure that every, you know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and those are the jobs that without those people,
Mhm.
you know, it goes all the way back to like a surfboard being made, right?
Yeah.
The sanders, the people that put the fins on, the people that are, you know, laying up the glass, all these things.
Right.
You know, there's
Right.
a lot of like the shaper is obviously the most thanked person